Today we're going to talk about expiry duration. Now, today's when it starts to get fun. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you hear any lawn mowers or weed eaters in the background, please forgive me. That's the local maintenance people. Okay, so expiry duration. Why do we need an expiry, and what is an expiry? An expiry basically is how long does a trade last? Okay, you can't hold a trade forever, no matter if you're trading Forex, stocks, binaries. You can't hold a trade forever. Sooner or later, you want to sell. If you buy something, you want to sell it at a profit or even at a loss, correct? And you need to do that at some point in the future. What the probability tool suite will show you is how often a specific signal wins or loses over a specific period of time. Now, this specific period of time is the expiry duration. Now, right now we're looking at a 1 hour chart. Let's go down here. Click out of here. Hide. We're going to look at a 1 hour chart. Now, each one of these little areas here that has a whole bunch of lines, these are for different strikes. We'll talk about strikes in the future. But the only thing that you need to know is when does something expire? Now, that white line will show you that this specific signal expires at the end or the close of that bar. If I were to get into a trade, let's pretend a binary option trade. If I were to get into a binary option trade at the open of this bar and I had a 1 hour expiry, that means that I need to be out of that trade at the end of the bar. Well, the end of the bar is down here. That trade would have closed unprofitable or OTM. However, what if I wanted to get a trade that had, let's say, a 4 hour expiry? Well, I would go into my indicators list. I would go down to, where's it at? Expiry duration here. And instead of 1 hour, I would make it custom, because custom means you can pick any amount of bars that you want, no matter if it's on a 1 hour chart, a daily, a 5 minute, whatever. So I'm going to go down to custom right here, and I will put in the number 4. Now watch what happens right here. Now, did you see that the bars here widened? And there's only one signal instead of two. The reason is because the first signal overlapped the second signal. So the outcomes will also change. We only had a 40-something% probability of expiring profitable on the 1 hour expiry, but on the 4 hour expiry, we now have a 50% probability of expiring profitable. Go back into your indicators parameters list here, and I want you to play around with this list. Now, some of these are for Nadex, some of them are for Cantor. In future updates, we may have more strikes than what you see here. For instance, if you want to see Cantor exchange strikes, you just choose, Nadex expiries. You can choose from 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and so forth. Cantor Exchange has a 4 p.m. expiry right here. Now, both Nadex and Cantor Exchange have 1 hour expiries, 2 hour expiries, daily expiries, things like that. Certain assets have 20-minute expiries. Other assets have 5-minute expiries. But you can play around with it and get any expiry that you want. Right now, I'm just going to put it on a 3 p.m. expiry. This means that every single signal that comes out, no matter when it comes out, the expiry is going to be 3 p.m. That means how often is that price going to close above or below, depending on the arrow, and the arrow is pointing down right now. How often is it going to close below the middle line right here? How often? It's going to do it 49.57% of the time, roughly a coin flip on this particular one that we're looking at. After you play around with the expiries, let's say we want to do, by the way, see this custom right here? This will only work, this number right here will only work if you have custom, because it's going to count the bars. If you have anything else in this field, it's going to look at this first and not count this area right here. So we're just going to leave it blank because we're not going to use it. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to look at an 11 a.m. expiry. I'm going to look at a different asset. And I want you to do the same. I want you to play around with it. And that is expiry duration. We will combine it all together here shortly.